Good morning, folks. This is Deb. We're going to cut right to the chase here. So, anybody who has been following any of the news since last weekend's attempted assassination of Donald Trump knows that the message being given by the GOP is that the Democrats and the left needs to tone down its violent rhetoric because that's what led to this assassination attempt. That is flat out bullshit. Okay. That is the GOP trying to bully us into remaining silent about the very real danger that is Donald Trump. That is what this is all about. So let's talk about this for a few minutes. We saw this constantly alluded to during the Republican convention, the little fascist conclave that happened this week. And we certainly saw, by any token, I didn't see it live, I did see it post convention, the rambling word salad of Donald Trump in what has to be the most ridiculously inane acceptance speech that I've ever seen in my life. But nobody talks about any of that. We just talk about Joe Biden, whether he can do his job, even though he's been doing it pretty successfully and actually has gotten more done in one term than some progressive presidents have gotten done in two. We've been talking about Joe Biden's debate performance, which is now almost 3 weeks old. But we didn't talk about Donald Trump's debate performance, which certainly wasn't any better and which also managed to deliver 90 minutes worth of sheer lies. But we didn't talk about any of that. And we're certainly not talking about anything around this assassination attempt that should be talked about. The media isn't anyway. Like this. Let's talk about this because this is now, I found this on Midas Touch initially. So it's certainly not being talked about by AP or the Washington Post or the New York Times or any mainstream media, which commands a far broader audience. And that's the point. In February of this year, a gentleman, and I use that term very loosely, named Ivan Raiklin, who is a former U.S. Defense Intelligence Agency employee, was on with Alex Jones talking about how an assassination of Donald Trump would certainly enhance the MAGA movement because it would result in the right wing arming themselves up and going after the left, including Joe Biden. They literally talked about this on air. This is the same Ivan Raiklin who also has a list of 350 people he wants to see rounded up and arrested for opposing Donald Trump. He is known as Donald Trump's Secretary of Retribution. This alarmed Jamie Raskin so much that he asked both Mike Johnson and Chuck Schumer to look into this and to denounce this. It's a plot. It was a plan written down. Anybody from the news media might be able to connect these kind of things and maybe go after them and look at them. But no, we're going to continue to just allow Eric Trump and all of the virulently brain dead MAGA cultists to continue to point the finger at Joe Biden without any pushback whatsoever. What's going on here in America right this minute is the GOP and the right using Donald Trump's assassination to bully the Democratic Party into not going after Donald Trump for what he is, which is the biggest danger to this country that we have ever seen in our history. Period. Full stop. No one with these intentions has gotten this far. And no one with these intentions has been given a second chance. And he is being given a second chance by our own system, led by the corrupt Supreme Court, which has paved his pathway to tyranny, and by the news media, the people who are supposed to be the guardians of democracy, one of the checks and balances on power in this country. They are enablers of those people now. Donald Trump and the GOP and the right wing's violent rhetoric came back and bit them in the ass last weekend. But nobody's talking about that. They're all focused on, can Joe Biden do the job? Well, someone's been doing the job. And it certainly hasn't been Donald Trump. He didn't do the job when he had it the first time. He created havoc here. He made a mess. He left a stink hole so deep that it took Joe Biden months to reverse the damage he did. He delivered on 68% of Project 2017, which was the previous iteration of Project 2025. And he is intent on installing that here right now. He does not get to lay claim to the fact that he knows nothing about it. Over 140 of his previous administration's either employees or people he consulted with wrote that document. He has a relationship with the president of the Heritage Foundation. He spoke at their meeting. But he doesn't want the American people talking about Project 2025 or the media. And they're accommodating him so far. We must not be bullied by the right. We need to keep talking. We need to keep pushing. But most of all, my friends, we need to find a way to bring Democratic Party, centrists together with us on the left so we can defeat this guy and make progress towards a more perfect union. We're not saying a perfect union. We're saying a more perfect union. It will never be perfect. And we will always have to be vigilant now. We need to find a way to do what the French did. And we need to do it now, starting now, because nothing else on the world stage matters. I don't care what you think. Nothing matters but preserving this country as a democracy. You live right here. And we can't help anyone out there unless we survive here. That's not rocket science. That's common sense. We need to keep talking. We need to keep pushing. We need to keep pushing the notion that Donald Trump does not serve the American people, that he is a danger to our very existence as a society. And we must find a way to unite and defeat this threat. This is the threat right now. And then we can move on to other issues. But we cannot do anything for anybody else in the world if we fall to Donald Trump's Third Reich. I will talk to you later.